Hello everyone! Hope you're having a fine day. Today we're going to be talking about the Mugen Train arc, episode 1 of the new Demon Slayer season. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ben and I cover seasonal anime and the sort, and as well I host a weekly Demon Slayer podcast every Sunday for the Mugen Train arc. Tonight with my co-hosts EA and Holographic, we'll be talking about this episode, though on top of that you can expect me to cover Demon Slayer every week right here in my own personal vlog style analysis videos. So with that out of the way, I want to get into this week's episode. So my first kind of thoughts and impressions really is that this episode was rather simple, but clearly was necessary to give us some more build-up and context for the upcoming Mugen Train arc, which begins next week. And I won't spoil, by the way, the movie here or anything from the arc, so if you haven't seen it and you're going to watch it in episodic form, then you're fine. I'm not going to spoil anything, even though I have seen it, and I've done videos on it previously. So, the overall point of this special really is to find the Slasher, which is a demon that's been out slashing people to death, and his ability is actually really cool. He looks really cool too. Very, very creepy. His abilities are really just basically super speed, which I don't think we've seen anything just quite like that for a demon yet. So I thought it went really well in terms of giving off this creepy vibe, building him up as a viable foe for Rengoku. Speaking of which, this episode primarily focuses on Rengoku, who's actually probably one of my top 3 favorites in the series, and in terms of the Hashira is probably number 1, at least so far. We'll see with Tengen Uzui in the next season, or if something like Shinobu or Mitsuri or Giyu come into the fold. We'll see, but as of right now, Rengoku is my top, and as well, this episode has the same exact cinematic presentation as the Mugen Train movie, which is nice to see and very consistent. I actually hope that they recut the movie overall with the changes that are coming in the next 6 episodes with the new music and stuff and the new scenes, but as well, just attacking this on to the very beginning. I'm not sure how that will work overall, but because of what we see in this episode, I think it would be really nice to at least see a version of the film with this tacked on to the front of it. So the first new thing we actually get to see in this episode is a new set of side characters, Fuku and her grandmother, which are going to turn out to be very important, but this was nice to see because while their story was simple in this episode, we got to see glimpses of Rengoku's father, the former Flame Hashira. And as we all know, Rengoku looks a lot like his father, and him being the one to take up the mantle of the Flame Hashira after his father is simply, it's just really compelling storytelling because you have the son taking up the mantle for the father, which is always really cool. In this episode, and his interactions with Fuku and, her grandmother really shows off firsthand how kind-hearted Rengoku is, but as well how brilliant and smart he is, because he goes and buys all these bento from Fuku and her grandmother, and he uses that not only as a way to be a kind-hearted guy to support Fuku and her sick mother, but as well to infiltrate undercover as a bento vendor. This was some really smart stuff because he's able to just as easily go into where he needs to go to and say, hey, workers, I got your bento lunches from the train committee or whatever he said. I forgot what he said, but really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff, and I think this really just goes to show that Rengoku, while being a stubborn and unaware kind of guy to the larger social interactions he has, he's actually very vigilant. He's very smart, and don't underestimate him because he looks like a rooster. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, right? But talking about underestimating, I think we should talk a little bit more about the Slasher and overall the climax to this episode. So the Slasher basically threatens to find the bento vendors and kill them. And so after Rengoku saves the hostage that the Slasher has, he takes off. He goes to find the bento vendors, and he does. And while that's going on, Rengoku actually uses total concentration breathing and is actually able to catch up with the Slasher. This is something that I thought was really cool because as we've seen so far in the Demon Slayer series, the breathing techniques are very integral towards the series as a whole, and especially just being able to present these characters in a believable way. So he catches up with the Slasher after using total concentration breathing, and the Slasher proposes a little bit of a face-off to see who's faster. And while saying this, Rengoku slices off his head immediately and wins. I thought this was really awesome because I think it would have been stupid to have this traditional face-off that the slasher proposed. It makes the demons look like they're underestimating the humans, but as well, it makes the humans, it makes the Hashira, especially Rengoku, it makes him look smart. It doesn't make him look dumb. Why would Rengoku play to the slasher's rules? It doesn't make any sense. So to have Rengoku immediately use total concentration breathing and use a form of flame breathing to immediately slash off the slasher's head and not play by his rules was a really cool moment, and it showed that there's consistent writing in this series, even when we're having totally original anime material, which is what this is. If you don't know, this is actually totally not in the manga whatsoever. But besides that, let's talk about the touching moment regarding Rengoku's father. So Rengoku reminds this old grandmother of his father, the former Flame Hashira. And I admit, like, pretty much immediately, I was almost going to tear up because they are so good at playing up the emotions in this series in general, but especially when it comes to Rengoku. And that's really because I think they make Rengoku always feel like this sacred character, as if he is this great person or role model in our lives. He's almost like a cult of personality type figure in a sense, which I think is really unique to this series. I mean, he's like those people that you read like 20, 30, 40 years after a person passes as like Muhammad Ali. Rengoku is like the Muhammad Ali of the Demon Slayer universe. I mean, I have several Muhammad Ali shirts because he's the fucking man. Everybody loves Muhammad Ali, and I feel the same way about Rengoku. In fact, I think I may buy some Rengoku t-shirts. And if you're looking for some t-shirts, you can go down the description below to my Teespring, and you can support me there. Hashtag support the SeaTactics. It's a real thing. I actually do have t-shirts. I have a new one. I have an Ara t-shirt. I got the King of Anime podcast t-shirt. Got tons of stuff. And I may have new merch coming soon. So look out for that. But the best moment in this episode, easily, is the Taisho secret is back. Or I guess secret whispers or something like that. I forget what it is in like actually translated to English and what it is in the manga. But Taisho secret nonetheless is back. And this time the point of the Taisho secret is that they want to know what Rengoku is like. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu. And this is actually an extended Taisho secret. And if you haven't, for some reason, seen the previous Taisho secrets, what's wrong with you? Go out, I think they're all on YouTube, go watch them. They're really, really good. So, all of the current Ashira, basically in this Taisho secret, give their experiences with Rengoku. So I want to name some notable ones, at least the ones that I remember. I can't remember every single one of them, and if I talk about every single one of them and what they mean, the significance for that, well, that would spoil the people here that don't want to be spoiled on future events. So, all the current Hashira give their experience with Rengoku, and the notable ones are Shinobu. She likes Rengoku a lot, thinks he's a really cool guy, but sometimes they aren't on the same wavelength. I think that's important to note because Shinobu is like obviously a really chill girl, and even then, Rengoku has this very infectious, super positive personality that even Shinobu can't vibe with all the time. Mitsuri, I think, is a really interesting one, and this kind of gets into the one-shot, which, by the way, I have read the one-shot for Rengoku, which follows Rengoku and Mitsuri's kind of training, but Mitsuri thinks that he's like a really cool big brother type, and she enjoyed training with Rengoku. So I want to take this moment actually to talk about their relationship a little bit, because I did read the one-shot. It's really cool, and if you guys have not read the one-shot for it, I think you should, even if you don't read manga, because I don't think they're going to animate it. So go out of your way to read that one shot. For Rengoku, it's really cool. It follows Mitsuri. And if you like Mitsuri and you like girls with big anime boobs, I mean, that's for you. But I just think it's also really cool as well to see the way Mitsuri reacts, because it's a lot in the same way how Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke act. They think Rengoku is like this really cool big brother type, and Mitsuri thinks the same way. Oh, as well, I should ask you guys, if you want me to make a video about the Rengoku one-shot, you know, kind of recapping it and giving my thoughts on the one-shot itself, I will totally do that. I actually have like 6 pages of notes on just the Rengoku one-shot. Put down in the comments below if you want something like that, and give this video a like. We'll say 100 to 150 likes, I'll do a video on it. We'll say that. I'm gonna give a range, because I'm not sure what to expect from these videos. As for Giyu, I like Giyu's a lot. He basically just likes him. That's all he says, and that totally fits Giyu's personality. I just love Giyu. I think he's awesome. Who doesn't? Overall, my first impressions, or I guess my final impressions on the episode, was really that it was just a solid lead-in episode and followed the Demon Slayer formula really well. I enjoyed the touches of Rengoku's father and the emotions that hit. It literally almost made me cry. We're not even into the actual Mugen Train arc itself. The Taisho secret was really damn good as always. Once again, I'm going to give you homework for next week. Please watch all the Taisho secrets from season 1. I promise. They're really great. And also, there's a lot of inside jokes with the Demon Slayer universe in those Taisho secrets, and as well on the Demon Slayer podcast and the King of Anime podcast. So if you're a fan of those podcasts or want to get into watching my podcasts, then you should definitely watch those Taisho secrets, as there's a lot of inside jokes just in general with me. As well, the Slasher was a pretty decent side demon for Rengoku to fight and showed how strong Rengoku is, and I just in general loved how they showed off Rengoku's kind and gentle heart helping out the bento vendors. I think that is quintessential Rengoku right there. So this episode was pretty respectful to basically all of the pre-established lore stuff that will be happening even in the future next episodes with the Mugen Train arc, and it's just a really good episode, I think, overall. While we wait for next week's episode, make sure to check out my review of the Mugen Train film itself, and as well, remember that tonight is our first episode in the Demon Slayer podcast, so do not miss it. Most importantly, #support the SeaTactics by becoming a patron or channel member to get your name on the wall of SeaTactics. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.